There's this feeling, isn't there? A, a quiet hum just beneath the surface of the days. That sensation that life is somehow on repeat. You wake up, you scroll, you rush, you feel tired, and then you just begin again. The days, they turn into weeks, and the weeks into months, and then a deep internal question starts to stir.
And that's the question. It tends to surface in the quiet moments. It's a recognition that all the small things we do day after day, well, they're not just passing time. They are either keeping us in the exact same place, or they're slowly, almost imperceptibly, building something else entirely.
You know, the first thing we seem to give away each day is our own attention. It's this quiet surrender, one we often don't even notice, to the world outside of our own mind.
Think about it. Before our own thoughts have even had a chance to really form, the hand reaches for the phone. And with that one simple motion, the day begins in a state of reaction. It's flooded with messages, with news, with the demands of other people. The world is invited right in to set the mood, and we lose control of the day before it's even really begun.
We call it multitasking, as if it's some kind of skill, but maybe it's just a state of sustained distraction. A mind that's divided, well, it can't really be present. It becomes scattered, less effective, pulled apart by this illusion that we're doing more, by actually tending to less.
There is a profound power in just doing one thing, and choosing one important thing and giving it our full, undivided focus. A single hour of that kind of deep, uninterrupted work, it holds more value than 5 hours of fractured effort. And over time, this focus, it compounds. The results, they're not linear, they're exponential.
So, beyond the pull of the outside world, there's a different kind of resistance. It's an internal gravity, a simple, heavy feeling of inaction that just settles over the body, even when the mind knows exactly what it wants to do.
The mind, it makes the plan, but the body, it remains still. The strange truth is that motion creates emotion. The hardest part of any task is simply to begin. That first small movement can break the spell of lethargy. A 2-minute walk can become 20. The body, once it's in motion, it reminds the mind what it wanted in the first place.
And this inertia, well, it often disguises itself as wisdom. We tell ourselves we're just waiting for the right time, or for the perfect plan, for that moment when we finally feel ready. But this perfection, it's a phantom. It is a self-imposed paralysis that keeps us from the very work that would make us ready.
We have the whole relationship backward. We believe we first have to feel confident in order to act. But the reality is that action is the birthplace of confidence. Sending the email, making the call, starting the project. These are the things that build the feeling we were waiting for all along.
You see, the day isn't just a solid block of time. It has edges. It has these margins at the beginning and at the end. And in these overlooked moments, there's an opportunity to reclaim something essential.
The human brain, it wasn't designed to stare into a source of artificial light right up until the moment of sleep. A digital sunset, a time when screens are put away, it allows the mind to quiet down. It carves out space for reflection, for conversation, for thought. And it transforms the end of the day from this passive consumption of content into a gentle preparation for rest.
In a world that is so saturated with noise, silence can feel deeply uncomfortable at first. But to just sit for 10 minutes in the morning with no input, just breathing, allowing thoughts to settle, over time, that discomfort gives way to clarity. Silence becomes the space where your own ideas can finally be heard.
It's so easy for weeks to just blur into one another without a moment of reflection. A brief, intentional pause, a reset. It provides structure to the flow of time, a moment to acknowledge what's past and to set a quiet intention for what's to come. It's the difference between just drifting and actually navigating.
And maybe the most significant change isn't in what we do, but in how we see. A small shift in the aperture of our perception can alter the entire landscape of a day, of a life.
We're taught to believe that happiness arrives with the grand achievements, but perhaps it's really found in the practice of noticing, in the small, quiet moments, the warmth of a cup in your hands.
Or the simple sensory experience of movement, the feeling of cool air on the skin. We tend to rush past these moments, but they aren't trivial details. They are the very texture of being alive.
You know,
The practice of gratitude isn't about forcing positivity. It's about retraining the brain to see what is present instead of focusing only on what is absent. And this shift in focus, this different way of seeing, it changes everything.
There is an ultimate filter for our attention. To ask, from the perspective of our 80-year-old self, if the current anxiety will hold any weight. This question has a way of dissolving the noise, the ego, the comparison. It reminds us of what truly lasts.
Because the future self is watching. And they're not hoping for perfection or for the right moment. They are just silently, patiently, hoping you'll start.